smoky eye look is great for a night out, but here with a fall take on the smoky is makeup artist Bianca Harris. Thanks for coming on board. She's got a model as well. So you're going to be talking about what you might do as the temperatures get a little cooler and you want to smoke that eye out. You've got one side done. And I guess part of it is going to be the colors you use, and part of it's going to be technique, right?
Totally. So, I mean, smoky eye's not going anywhere.
Nope.
Everybody loves the smoky eye, but I think the problem is people don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I
right?
sure don't.
So you do want to switch it up depending on what season you're in. So what I've chosen to do on Aparna today, she came in with a beautiful, like, bold lip, so this is totally different.
Okay.
And I think the problem is people kind of overthink it a little too much.
Okay.
I think it actually looks a little better when it's more lived in.
Yeah.
And it's more trendy and modern. So I'm going to start off by just doing like an eye pot. It's a gel and it's a cream. You cannot mess it up. Just look down for me.
I love when people say that. You cannot mess it up.
You can't.
Okay, so it's that easy.
It's that easy.
And you just put a wash right across?
Wash right across, and I'm a really huge fan of using your hands for makeup as your tool.
Yeah.
It's just easy if you're a beginner. And who doesn't want easy, especially if you just want to kind of maybe throw this on after work and bump up your look, right?
It's also probably you have a little bit more control when you're using your own fingers, and it warms up the makeup so it goes on a little bit better.
And brushes can be intimidating. I hear that all the time, like so many brushes.
It's true.
It gets a little scary, right?
Yeah.
So you just want to leave that as like a nice wash of color. I mean, you can honestly stop there. If you feel like, I just want to throw one thing on and it may be a little bit, complicated to get to that look.
Okay.
Just throw that kind of wash of color on, and then you can do that same exact step on the bottom. So you're using one product to achieve multiple things and kind of open up the eye.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you want to use both of them, and you'd rather use sort of a powder than going in with a liner?
So this is a gel, so it's kind of like a mixture of both.
So it's for lining, it's for shadow.
And I even used it in her brows.
Ooh,
right?
nice.
I am a huge fan of using the same thing on multiple parts of my face just because it's easy.
Makes it a little easier.
So I'm just
Saves
running.
you money too.
Totally. And I'm just running that along the bottom, again, smudging it with my fingers, right?
Well, I like the fact that it doesn't have to be so perfect, because that makes it also less intimidating.
Totally.
And it's on trend.
It is. It's much more modern to have it look a little bit more lived in.
Yeah.
Next, I'm going to go in with a really fun palette.
Okay.
Again, with my finger. If you're using something frosty, it's very easy to pick up.
Yeah.
And look down for me. And I'm just going to apply that in the center of the lid.
Nice. So the way that you're putting it on right now, you're putting it on in a way that the color is going to look very saturated.
Exactly.
So what are you doing to make it look like that? Because I think a lot of us try and then we're just sort of wiping it off.
I think it's just a matter of picking the right product, right?
Yeah.
So you want to pick up something like I specifically chose something that's going to really open up the eye and give her lightness in the color of her eye.
Okay.
And that's just using your finger is going to help it be saturated. When you're using a brush, it kind of like washes everywhere, and you don't have as much control, like you said.
Yeah. Okay.
You know more about makeup than you think.
Well, I watch it a lot on Cityline. Because I was saying to her after, a decade, 2 decades of getting my face done professionally, I should know a lot more. I should be able to do a really good face, and I don't, because the things you want to pay attention to and learn, you will, and the things that you just want to sit back and let someone else do, that's what happens. But that's why Bianca's never going to be out of business. With people like me around, we'll always need you. That looks beautiful.
So again, same product. I applied it on the lid, in the inner corner to really open up the eye, and underneath. And that's just going to really give it a really, it brings the fall colors into it and really gives the eye a nice open look, which who doesn't want, right?
That's lovely. If you are thinking fall smoky, are you looking for those sort of traditional warmer harvest colors?
I mean, that's what you tend to gravitate towards. I mean, you could even add like a really bright lip to this look, or like a maroon. There's so many. I mean, makeup is fun. I think we tend to stay in the same thing too much.
Yeah.
And just kind of play with it and make it your own, right?
Okay, so the next step.
Next step, I'm going in with like a bronzer-ish kind of color. So you can use your actual bronzer and go in. That's how I do my eyeshadow.
Good.
And you're using a fluffy brush at this point, and you're just going to kind of marry all of those colors together.
Nice.
And that's going to really make it look kind of more fall.
It's essentially a 3-step process, isn't it?
Yeah, you can make it a 3-step process for sure. And that, like I said, if you break it down, it's not as hard or as intimidating as we might think.
Beautiful. Oh, Aparna, I can't wait for you to see it. You look absolutely gorgeous. Really nice and super easy. Bianca, thank you so much for taking away some